Before we get into the official legal speak, let's use a super simple analogy. Just think about cars. The provider, that's the company that designs, builds, and sells the car. The deployer, that's the company that buys the car to use for its business, maybe like a taxi service or a delivery company. See, one makes the tool, the other one uses it. Simple, right? Okay, so here's the official definition for that car maker role. A provider is any organization that develops an AI system, and here's the really important part, and puts it on the market under its own name or brand. Doesn't matter if you sell it or give it away. If you built it and you put your name on it, you're almost certainly a provider. And on the flip side, we have the car user, the deployer. This is any company using an AI system under its own authority for professional work. Now, the key thing here is that this is not about you messing around with an AI for a personal project. This is about using it for your business. So most companies that use off-the-shelf AI tools, yeah, you're going to fall right into this bucket.
All right. Definitions are one thing, but let's be honest. It's the real-world examples that really make things click. So let's look at a couple of scenarios you might even recognize from your own day-to-day. Here's that creator versus user thing in practice. So a SaaS startup that builds its own AI chatbot and sells subscriptions, that's a provider, clear as day. But let's say a local restaurant that just uses a tool like ChatGPT to whip up some social media posts. That restaurant is a deployer.
Let's try another one, this time in HR. A tech company builds a shiny new AI tool for screening resumes and sells it to other businesses. They are the provider. The HR department that then buys that tool and uses it to sort through job applicants, they're the deployer. Again, one creates the tech, the other just puts it to work.
Okay, so by now you're probably feeling pretty confident. You're thinking, yep, I know which one I am. But hold on, because this is where it gets a little bit messy. There's a really critical gray area you absolutely have to know about, where a deployer can accidentally trip a wire and suddenly become a provider.
So how does that even happen? Well, there are three main ways you can accidentally get reclassified. First, you take an AI someone else made and you just slap your own brand on it. Second, you make what the law calls a substantial modification. So you're not just tweaking it, you're really changing how it works. And third, you change its intended purpose, like taking a fun, low-risk AI and using it for something high-risk.
Let's make that real. Imagine your company takes a general-purpose chatbot, customizes it like crazy for recruiting, and then launches it to job applicants as the company bot assistant. Well, guess what? The second you did that, you rebranded it, you heavily modified it, and you pointed it at a high-risk activity, you just crossed the line. You just became a provider, with all the responsibilities that come with it.
And this is the whole reason it matters so much. Why are we even talking about this distinction? Because the obligations for each role are worlds apart. Let's compare what these two paths actually demand from you.
I mean, just look at the difference in that workload. The provider has to do all the heavy lifting upfront. They have to ensure the AI meets all the safety rules, create mountains of technical documentation, do risk assessments, and actually design human oversight into the system before it ever sees the light of day. The deployer's job? It's to use it safely, follow the instructions, and keep some logs. The burden of responsibility is squarely on the provider's shoulders. And if that huge difference in workload wasn't enough to get your attention, here is the ultimate reason you need to get this right: the penalties. For the most serious violations, the fines can go all the way up to 35 million euros, or 7% of your company's global annual turnover, whichever is higher. Suddenly, knowing your role isn't just a compliance question, it's a multi-million euro question.
Okay, take a deep breath. The point here isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you. This is totally manageable, but you do need a plan. So let's walk through a simple, clear roadmap for what you can start doing right now.
First things first, you need to know the timeline because the clock is definitely ticking. The rules for general-purpose AI models, they start kicking in around August 2025. Then the really heavy-duty requirements for high-risk systems come into force in August 2026. This is not some distant future problem. This is a next-year problem.
So here are your practical first steps broken down by your role. If you're a provider, or if you even think you might have accidentally become one, your job is to start an inventory of all your AI systems right away. Start classifying their risk and get going on that technical documentation. Now, if you are clearly a deployer, your focus is different. It's on your people and your processes. Start training your teams on AI literacy and set up clear procedures for human oversight for every AI tool you use.
At the end of the day, the EU AI Act creates a chain of responsibility, starting from the moment an AI is created all the way to how it's used. Your obligations, your risks, and what you need to do next. It all comes down to your place in that chain. So the only real question left is, after all that, which path are you on?